Yeah, it's the first album without Mal doing his part.
Well, we miss Mal, obviously, you know, but we've got Stevie in there who played with us in the 80s when Mal was out for a little while. Stevie plays just like Mal. Yeah, he's a lot like him in a lot of respects. Yes. So, and he fit in really well at that time, so it was a no-brainer for us. Yeah, Mal had said, "I get Stevie," you know. So.
Well, I think from 25 years ago, you probably... Well, we did a lot of touring, you know, over the years as a band. You know, I mean, we started as a band. You got known by touring. And that's how you did it at that time. You didn't have the technology you got now. And in fact, there wasn't even any music channels. And so everything was hard touring. You got known. So I would think in comparison, these days, I mean, we've grown bigger. I mean, the last tour was a big tour, 2 years we done, covering the world, and I'm sure this next tour will probably be a long, you know, it'll be quite a hefty tour. Favorite track?
Oh, it's tough. There's 11 tracks on it, and I love them all personally. But I'd like. I mean, I love Rock or Bust. Yes. Play Ball's a great up track. Yes. Mission Control's a real. They've got a. Yes. Or they've all got something for me. You know, yes. It's tough to pick one.
Yeah, I'm like Cliff. I like all the. All the tracks, otherwise we wouldn't release them. Rock or Bust I like the kick off, the way it starts, because you hear it from the first chords, you know it's, here they come. It's easy, and that's one of my favorites. I like very much Misadventure, and Baptism by Fire, Rock and Roll Thunder I dig a lot. Yeah, I think the first track, Rock or Bust, you know, it says it right away when first line goes off. The intro line is, "We are a guitar band," which is always what AC/DC was from the start. We were a guitar band. No, I think it was for us. It was. Yeah, I mean, Stevie did Mal's role, but if you didn't look, you thought, hey, it sounds like Mal, and he was, and Stevie certainly has thought, he's been a guy that covers, the style Mal always done. He was the closest to Mal, so. And as I said, unless you looked around, you didn't know,
it wasn't
that it was Mal.
So probably the biggest challenge was beating Brendan O'Brien at cards.
Yeah, especially when he makes up his own rules. Yeah, well, the process, no, I don't think we would call it a change. It was always a bit, especially with Malcolm and myself, it was always, you took a bit of new, but you also, a lot of things that we've had in the past. Every album was pretty much that way. Even your first album was a bit of, you had a lot of songs that you had, when you had, even before you even recorded it, you would put together the older tracks and ideas. And with AC/DC, every album's been like that. You might have, what you're recently doing. If you worked up a few good tracks, but you always, there was always a point where you said, "Oh, wait a minute, we got that riff from 2 years ago. That was a great riff. We never used it. We should incorporate that." So there was always a bit of, even though you were doing something new, you were hunting back and using a lot of tracks, and that was with any album we ever done.
As long as we're enjoying ourselves, and we do, we've all still got the passion for it.
Yes.
No, so everyone's really into it.
Yes.
So as long as that spirit carries on.
Yeah. And as long as you can physically do it, and you've got the, and you've got the stamina to do it, and you're in good shape. You might watch odd film or two.
Yeah, an odd flick, but and listening is always back to the old stuff we kind of grew up on.
Yes. Legacy. I think our legacy is, hey, if you want an example of a good rock, good rock band, that AC/DC has, been one of the bands that have, from the beginning, played rock music, and done it as long as they could do it and do it well.
Yeah, I'm with him. Yeah.
There's a lot I would love to. Probably Elmer James, he's a great blues player.
I'd love to have seen Hendrix live.
Yes.
Never did.
Yes.
And Elvis and the Beatles.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, Buddy Holly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I have a lot of SGs. At the moment, I'd hazard to guess, But for a lot of years, I just used to have two, and that's the one I still play. It's the first one I ever owned. I still use that in the studio, and I had another one that was a spare backup, which I actually picked up in New York when we first come to New York. I got it very cheap. I got it. I think I got two guitars for about $175, both of them SGs, and with cases, which was that was a bargain. Yeah. And the one of them was a great backup guitar, because I used that also on Highway to Hell, that album. So and I still get it out every now and again. Yeah. So they're the main two guitars that I've ever played in the studio.
First one you still have?
Yeah, first one. That's the reliable one. One time it got broken. I think when we did For Those About the Rock, because we just started that, and I used the backup guitar for some of the early rhythm tracks. And but even Mutt Lang was sweating. He goes, "When's that guitar come?" So I've got other guitars, but from that I've got over the years, a lot of Gibsons, different ones. I don't know. I think one of the strangest gigs we ever played, I think, was probably when we played in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in New York. Because you expect rock and roll, when they say Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, in front of you, you expect to see, a rock and roll audience, I suppose. But it was mainly industry type people and stuff, sitting at tables and whatnot. It kind of I thought, geez, it reminded me of when you were young and you got a call, hey, you're going to come up and play in this restaurant or something.